welcome to X3, one topic with three crazy pundits, myself included. I'm John C. Dvorak. I'm here with Andrew Eisner and Joe Engo to discuss PhoneGap, which apparently is a big deal. Can somebody here explain what it is?
Guess what it means.
Explain it.
So PhoneGap is it's an open source framework that basically it wraps WebKit into a native application, and then you use HTML, CSS, JavaScript to create your application for Android, iOS, WebOS, works on BlackBerry.
Get it?
We need some more acronyms. This is what makes this show great, by the way. No other show will give you that kind of information. So the point of it is, so in other words, it's a consolidation of technologies to allow people to do what?
It's a
smartphone development.
Exactly.
This
and
happens
tablet
with every crazy conflicting platforms, and it never seems to work.
No, it works actually pretty well. Yeah. I mean, you're just using standard JavaScript and you're running it for multiple different platforms. So you have one code base that runs for all of them. Plus, you could also have a web app that uses that exact same JavaScript. Yeah. So it could really reduce your development time.
So who's using this? Anybody? Is it
out?
Yeah,
a lot of big companies.
So what do you do? I want to do an app. Let's say I want to do the Dvorak blog app.
Okay.
Because I'm on board with the idea that apps are the future.
So first off, I mean, you're going to download one of the frameworks like jQuery Mobile or JQ Touch, or one of those that give you different little widgets that are native to that OS or whatnot. And then you're going to come up with some actual forms in HTML, and then you're going to write some JavaScript. After you have all that, then you just put it into the PhoneGap framework and deploy it on the device.
It comes out with a bunch of different little things?
Yeah, and you can still access things like GPS and the camera and everything else, because what it does, it makes internal URL requests to a backend daemon that does the actual low-level calls on that specific device.
The way the story is written, the headline is PhoneGap to become an Apache project.
Yes.
As Adobe acquires Nitobi.
Yeah, so now Adobe went and acquired this company that was behind PhoneGap.
Is it Nitobi or Nitobi?
I have no idea how to pronounce it.
It's Nitobi. We should know, but we don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So they acquired them, and one of the conditions of the acquisition was that PhoneGap has to be released as an open source project. So now PhoneGap, or the company behind it, and Adobe are working with the Apache Foundation to open source it and make it an official Apache project.
That's unusual, because Adobe for years has been. They hate open source.
That's right.
Since the days of GhostScript is actually.
Let's face it, more people are using PhoneGap than are using Air to create iPhone and iOS, or excuse me, iOS and
Well, let me ask you a question.
Air is not really hitting it off.
Air is terrible. It is awful. It's worse than Flash. The actual memory usage on it is ridiculous. That's why I can't stand. Was it TweetDeck?
Yeah. Now, what about all these rapid development? Things like Titanium, Titanium?
Yes, so I've tried using Titanium as an app accelerator.
There's a whole new group of products now that are coming out. They're like Visual Basic for, phone apps.
Here's the thing about Titanium.
So it makes it easy to develop, quick, coding.
Yeah.
Titanium is a scam, because they tell you that they're compiling their code into native. It's bullshit, they're not.
Oh, really?
Because what they're doing is, if you try to take that JavaScript out of the installer, it doesn't run anymore. The only thing that's doing natively is it's using different widgets natively. But all the rest of the code is all JavaScript.
So it's a big
They're
program.
a total scam. And and I even tried calling them out on it at one point. They just completely ignore my emails.
So it's one of the more popular ones, though.
Yeah, it is very popular. I have used it. It is pretty good.
Is there
it's
one
of
you
the
like
better
better?
ones.
It's good, but it's a scam?
Well, no.
You mean
it's
their
good.
assertions
it's good, but
are questionable.
What they're trying to suggest is not true. They're trying to suggest that you're going to get native performance, but you don't. You get about the same performance that you do with PhoneGap. But here's the thing, like Titanium SDK, you could do like arcade-style sounds. You really can't do that with PhoneGap. So that's one thing that's kind of a disadvantage. And you can extend PhoneGap easily. You cannot really extend Titanium very easily.
So what have you done in Titanium?
So I'm working on a game right now.
Oh, so you're developing with this scam product?
But no. I was using them initially, but I recently switched back to PhoneGap because we're using one code base for all of them. Yes.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
So
I start off with PhoneGap, and then I got frustrated with a couple of ways they were doing things. Moved to Titanium.
And back.
But then I ended up going back because
can you move any code back and forth, or what was the deal? You had to start from scratch every time you change?
But the major reason I'm going back to PhoneGap is because I want to be able to have one code base that runs on both of them. Because maintaining two separate ones is a pain in the ass. Because then I also have the server backend, which is Node.js. So it's all JavaScript, 100% JavaScript.
So you're doing a game?
Yes.
Is it going to be any good?
Yes. Everybody who's seen it so far is dying to play it.
So can we invest in your company?
Once it's out there, sure.
Yeah, sure. That's what he says now.
Yeah.
I've seen this happen before. You won't even be on the show to be gone.
Oh no, once the game's done, I'll bring it in for you guys to check out. Trust me.
Okay, we'll see. You've been watching X3.